I was having a conversation with a girl not long ago, and they were on about Snapchat and this new shit where you can see if people's half swiped you or their snap scores went up by like 1 or some weird shit. And she was saying it's the best thing ever. I can't believe it. Oh, it's amazing. I can track what this person's doing. I can track what this person's doing. And then we also got in another conversation recently where we saw this person in a club, and I said I've seen them everywhere. Like, I go out on a fucking Wednesday night randomly and I'll see that person there. I go to this club every now and again and I see that person there each time. And she had fucking snap cutouts of this person topless, and he's years older than her. And I found that a bit weird on a real perspective, but I just kind of have this feeling that this generation, and especially with everyone vaping and all this bollocks now and addicted to our phones, it's kind of fucked a little bit. This generation, whatever you call the younger generation, a bit younger than me, is already fucked, and the damage is already done. Because when I was younger, when I was like 12, 13, I would have Facebook or whatever, and Instagram was coming about then as well, but I wouldn't go on it all the time or be autistic on this little stuff and like look at everything like on this level, you know what I mean, like on every little level. And now with this Snapchat shit, you can look at things on another level, and I guarantee like Instagram and all this stuff are bringing that in, and then you're gonna have no freedom on these apps or whatever to just look at shit or whatever. And it's just a weird thing where I kind of thought this generation's a little bit fucked just from that weird thing, and you lot's gonna think that's a weird thing, but everyone I know is vaping and are always on their phone watching TikToks. You know what I mean? Like pretty much everyone I know, and I find it a bit weird in a weird perspective in this modern day. And I'm a bit, not afraid, but a bit wary of what's going to happen with this modern generation, and they're kind of already poisoned. Like I said, I had Facebook and that when I was younger. Instagram and that came along when I was like 12, 13, and I was late to the party on it. Everyone else was on it. And then I got addicted to it. Now, obviously, I don't go on it much. And now I look at it from a different perspective because I know it's not good. But these people are going to spend time on these apps consistently. And TikTok's probably even worse, man. It's just dopamine spike. Different thing. You can spend hours on there. And I just want to say that we need to sort this out a little bit, you know? We need to sort this shit out, because imagine how our younger generation is going to be affected by all this stuff. And this is just a question in a sense. How are they going to be affected? And are they already poisoned with this stuff? Because their minds are a little bit on the wrong stuff, if that makes sense. And I understand you're young or whatever, but if you don't understand that you need to change, you're never truly going to change. And it's just sad to see in a sense. And I understand how much these distractions and how much these things can take away from your life, because they've done it to me. And I view myself as someone who's fairly mentally strong at times, someone who can get through obstacles, someone who can work through stuff. And it got me. And it's got loads of other people. Imagine the people who don't have that same mentality or that same belief in themselves to get out of these things. Imagine what that would do to their life. Imagine how that would crush their life. Imagine how their life is going to be in a virtual world that isn't even real, if that makes sense. Where it's just focused on numbers and like snap scores and shit, you know what I mean? And if this person's snapping them and all this, imagine that. It's a bit crazy, I think, in a sense, because that would wind me up as fuck. They're like, you should get it. I'm like, no, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting that Snapchat fucking premium or some shit, whatever it's called. And it's one of these things where I don't want you lot to kind of be like this, especially the younger people. I don't want you lot to be addicted to apps and addicted to this stuff. I just understand there's a more beautiful world outside. Like today, this shit you can't recreate. The sun on you on a nice day in winter. The air is crisp. It's not overly cold. And the sun's on you. You can't recreate this stuff on your phone. But if you think you can, you're kind of going to hurt yourself, and you're going to let areas of your life slip. You're going to let your shape slip, your mind slip, your body slip, and before you know it, you're going to be quite undisciplined in this world. And you're going to look at yourself and think, oh, this world's terrible, this world's shit. And especially if you're a man or whatever, you're going to think like that, because a lot of times it's what our achievements is what we base our own self-worth off. This is bad to say, some people say it isn't, but a lot of times that's what you base your own self-worth off. How things are going right now, what you've done in the past is what you base your self-worth off. How much money you got, how much status you got, whatever, you base your self-worth off of that, how you feel, how you get on with people, you know? And it's easy to let this slip when you spend too much time on these online things, these online apps, these online things that don't actually truly serve you in a sense, and you're living other people's lives. And before you know it, your life's not going to be yours. Especially with, I don't know what's going on with this AI stuff, but of course from what I've heard it's quite bad, and what's going to go on and stuff. But it's going to be a weird world that we live in, where the only true blessings we're going to have is like the real natural human connection, the sun, this stuff, you know, nature. And you don't know if they're going to get rid of this stuff, you know what I mean? Like the nature and all that like maybe just build over it and all that, like they do a lot of places now. And it's one of these things, man. One of these things, I don't want you lot to get too caught up in this virtual world that isn't real, because it's not real, man. It's not real, and it can hurt your mental health. It can hurt your mental health. If I had that and I'm speaking to a girl and I like her and I'm seeing her snap score go up by 1 and they haven't responded to me, imagine what that's going to do to your fucking mind. Imagine what that's going to do to you as a person, you know? It's not going to help you, is it? It's just going to make you have unnecessary stress that you don't need. It's going to make you have unnecessary distractions that you don't need. And I just don't want you lot who's younger to get into this, man. To get into this stuff where you're so reliant on these apps and these things to stimulate you. It don't matter. It's not real, you know? It's not real. And it's what I've had to understand. Even with this YouTube channel, you can get a bit attached to the results, numbers, and all this, and base your self-worth off it. It's not real. It's not real. Of course, it's real in the sense of people commenting, or maybe people looking at your products or buying your products or whatever. But on a real level, is it really that real? You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole nother element of life once you put the phone away, once you take your phone down, once you turn it off. There's a whole different life that's actually real around you like this. This you can't recreate, you know? And I just don't want you lot in this position, really, like, because it's going to be a dark place. And the sooner you lot can get out of these habits and get out of these toxic little distractions that they got to make more money, to literally get loads of money out of you. Because from what I heard, it was like £4 or £5 or some shit a month, which is crazy. You know what I mean? Imagine how many people's buying that. You know what I mean? And it's going to be bad, man. It's going to be bad. And I don't know. It's just one of these things where I thought, that's crazy. You know, that's crazy. It's a weird little story to come off of, I know, but it's crazy. And I'm a bit, what's the word? A bit scared in a sense of this modern generation coming up, you know, because I don't know how it's going to be. Because mine was kind of the first, maybe my brother's in a sense, he's like 2-3 years older than me, 3 years older than me, 2.5. And his generation, they were going up with money, with social media and all this stuff. They were growing up with social media, I meant. And it's like, I had a generation where literally as I'm like going in secondary school, everyone's on Instagram and all this stuff, and your mind gets attached to likes. You're not going to upload because of this, and all this person's doing, and you just get your mind wrapped up in shit that don't matter. And then as I've got older, I understand what truly matters and not all this little fucking bullshit, you know? And it's one of these things that you kind of need to realise, you know? We can't let these distractions control us. We can't let this all do us in this sense and almost control our life, fuck our life, because it's not going to be good for us as a person. And that's what I want for you lot in this video. I just don't want you lot to be held on by these distractions and by these things. Of course, if your life's in a good stead and you're happy with it, of course, do what you want. But a lot of times you won't be happy when you're spending too much time on these apps. And you know, your body knows, your fucking mind knows what you're doing. And that's the overall message. Hey, you lot got a lot of value. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.